Today on CityCast Salt Lake, have you heard of an Alpine divorce? A reopened murder case has us connecting the dots in Utah. Plus, the plan for a 10,000-bed ICE detention center on Salt Lake City's west side seems to be suspended. We've got picks for your weekend and a special segment just for our members, some summer travel hacks. It's Friday, June 26th. I'm Ali Vallarta, and here is what Salt Lake's talking about. Newsletter editor Terina Ria, welcome back.
Thanks, Ali.
Our former social media manager, Molly Miloscia, now a CityCast Salt Lake contributor. Good to see you, Molly.
Good to see you. You can't get rid of me that easily.
No, you tried everything. I feel like since we have you here, Molly, in particular, though, Terina, you also watch reality TV.
Yeah.
We just have to quickly share the enormous news that Taylor Frankie Paul's season of The Bachelorette is now going to air. They're releasing the files.
Finally. I knew this was going to happen.
Right?
I knew it was going to happen. Yeah, they need those advertising dollars, man.
Yeah. I thought it was really interesting in the Deseret News story that they said that ABC has been conducting audience testing to gauge viewers' response to Taylor Frankie Paul. So they're like, I guess they wanted to get a sense of how much audiences would want to or not want to watch her. Maybe that will inform some edits that do or don't happen. I don't know. I'm speculating, but
Maybe.
I thought that was an interesting tidbit. You're right.
I wonder if audience testing is just like reading the internet.
Yeah, reading the comments. Going to Reddit.
I mean, they spent millions of dollars on this season. And in case you missed it, the reason that it was yanked is because a video surfaced of her throwing a metal bar stool at her ex, who has also become the nemesis of every Utahn, Dakota Mortensen. And it's turned into a courtroom drama over custody of their children and domestic abuse allegations that go both ways. But yeah, when you're a network and the media ecosystem is what it is and you've sunk millions of dollars into filming something, you are keen to release it. Yeah. I suppose.
No, it's going to get a ton of views, because of all the controversy. So that's why they're probably doing it.
I mean, I'll be watching. Okay. Another story this week that hit all my group chats is this alleged murder at Angel's Landing. So I'll give the skinny here. Angel's Landing, one of the most, not challenging necessarily, but frightening because of its steepness, hikes in the United States. This is a hike at Zion National Park in southern Utah. About 20 years ago, a woman on that hike fell to her death. And now, 20 years later, her husband of the time has been arrested and charged with murder because the police got a tip that actually he pushed her off Angel's Landing to her death. That's the allegation, and that's the investigation. This is shocking. I mean, like,
crazy.
I am dying to know who gave the tip. What is the tip?
Yeah, and what was the tip?
Were they there? Or is it?
Yeah, did he tell someone?
Yeah, or is this like a family member who's just like, it's never felt right? Yeah, we don't know what the tip is, unfortunately. Maybe that person will, sit for call her daddy. But until then, we don't know the tip. But we know that this is a horrific story, and it feels impossible not to connect it to something that has been trending on the national discussion boards, which is the topic of Alpine divorce. Had either of you heard this expression before?
I had never heard of this.
I hadn't either. I have heard the man versus bear argument, which is pretty similar. Would you rather run into a man or a bear on a trail? And most women say bear, bear, always the bear. Because, in reality, violence against women is more likely to come from someone or a human man rather than a wild animal. So,
right. Yeah, I mean, okay, so this term Alpine divorce, I first read about it in The Cut, which sadly paywalls all their articles. But it's I guess become sort of a phenomena. It's one of those classic internet phenomena where like one person posted a thing and then all of a sudden you have 15,000 comments from other people being like, oh my God, the same thing happened to me. Oh my God, is this a trend? And Alpine divorce is the name for when generally male partners take their spouses, girlfriends, what have you, on a hike or camping or into the wilderness. And what happens ranges anywhere from they take the opportunity to dump them by just leaving them out there. Something goes wrong and they are sort of like disgusted by their partner's inability to like keep up or indulge in the same degree of type 2 fun. Like some women described like, oh, we were camping and I fell and sprained my ankle and then all of a sudden he was just gone. And then the car was gone.
So insane.
Oh
to pushed off a cliff to like murder.
That's the spectrum.
Yeah.
That's the
Well,
spectrum.
I feel like hiking trails are already kind of set up for like a quote unquote perfect crime because of just like the setting. Like there are no cameras usually.
No.
There are very few witnesses. You know, weather or like people treading on the trails kind of change the scene or destroy evidence. And then like Angel's Landing specifically is already known to be like a risky hike. So like most of the fatalities that are happening there are assumed to be accidental. So yikes. When's the documentary coming out?
Seriously.
Honestly. Yeah. Well, the thing about the Angel's Landing incident that also is so strange to me, and I guess 20 years ago, maybe you could find peace at Angel's Landing. These days, you are never up there with less than 20 other people standing around you.
Really?
Like, it's one of the busiest trails.
They've had to like permit it, or you have to pick time slots now or something. They've tried to curb kind of the crowds. It's gotten so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went in my early 20s to Zion for the first time, and I couldn't do Angel's Landing because I'm terrified of heights. And everyone was like, no, you have to. It's like, this is what you come here for. And I just was like, I can't. I'm already kind of clumsy anyway. And so I couldn't do it.
I hate that. Yeah, I mean, the Alpine divorce thing seems so primed for a place like Utah because, I mean, the reason that so many people live in Salt Lake City is that it's base camp.
Yeah.
It's to be in the outdoors. And I also think, like, whenever we have conversations about dating on this show, the type 2 fun issue comes up a lot. Like, the sort of like, I don't know that he'll ever love me as much as he loves his mountain bike, which, fine. That's fine. Like, I mean, you know, I could live with that. But, like, I know people who have had it proposed to them, and this is not the same as Alpine divorce, but it feels like the cousin to Alpine divorce, which is like Alpine date disaster. Like someone has proposed that for a first date, what they do is like go skiing or go for a hike or whatever. And I'm like,
yeah,
I mean, first date, how about a lap around Liberty Park?
I'll dox myself. In our Valentine's Day episode from this year, I had submitted a story about me going on a hike on a first date, and you guys gave me a really hard time. And at the time, it was like an easy hike, and it wasn't that long. And, you know, go back and listen to the episode. Things did go wrong, but not in the Alpine divorce way.
Right.
But it seems, to your point, Ali, like, just like we live here and there's all this stuff to do, like an obvious thing to do. And now after reading some of these stories and things, I'm like, that's a very trusting thing to do with someone you don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it's first date behavior. I do think though that it is a good relationship test. Like if you've been in a relationship for a while, it's like going to IKEA together and hiking together is kind of a good test of your relationship and what you can handle. I think like, you know, are they matching your pace? Like, are they showing like care for you if you're kind of a slower or less experienced hiker? Are they like communicating if they want to bolt ahead? Like, are they telling you like, hey, I want to do this. Is that okay with you? Kind of thing. Or are they just doing it?
Yeah, I did not know how to mountain bike when I moved to Utah almost 10 years ago. And my partner, big mountain biker, and I wanted to learn. And he actually taught me through the course of our relationship. But it involves a lot of communicating of like him understanding like, okay, I'm out here teaching you today. I'm not doing a fun ride. And then as that's progressed, we still have to communicate when we go together of like, hey, I just want to have fun today. I don't want to learn anything. Or like we do a lot of, oh, there's a blue and a black trail. I'm going here. You're going there. See you at the bottom. So there's like a lot, even, gosh, this many years later of having that communication. And I think in some of these stories that we read in these articles, it definitely is like this pressure cooker of like, if there is something, major red flags with this person that you're with. Like it is an environment and an opportunity where those things are probably going to present themselves very clearly, very quickly. Like I have to imagine that the men in these stories, like, yes, these things happened in the outdoors, but I have to imagine something else would have happened in some other scenario in these relationships.
Sure.
But it's like this environment where you're exerting yourself or something is challenging.
Stressful.
And yeah, exactly. And those major red flags might show themselves.
Yeah. Do you remember this story? It was a couple months ago, and it was also connected to this like Alpine divorce discussion, but it was a couple in Hawaii that went for a hike for her birthday.
Oh my God.
And when they got to the overlook at the top of the hike, he tried to hit her over the head with something. I want to say a rock or something to kill her, but she survived.
I saw that. He got prosecuted like a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And
So
he had a
crazy.
syringe because he was like a doctor or an anesthesiologist or
Yes.
something. He had a syringe with him. And he tried to allegedly like push her first, and then she like didn't fall, and then she was like trying to fight for her life and was just bloody, and finally she made it out alive, which is crazy.
Wild.
Yeah. I think a lot of these stories too made me think of the obviously case tied to Utah and Gabby Petito, and what happened with her. Like, it's crazy how many stories that like we all know about that kind of live in this Alpine divorce world, and gosh, how many stories we probably don't know about that are on the spectrum.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
It's not making a good case for the outdoors for an indoor gal, I will say.
I was gonna say.
You're like, I'm set.
Yeah, I'll stay inside where it's safe.
And I think it feels victim blamey to talk about things that you can do to stay safe, but there are apps that will notify your friends if they don't hear from you after a certain amount of time. Never hurts to be sharing your location with at least a handful of people.
Go somewhere where there's service if you're gonna go on a hike with someone you maybe don't know super well.
Yeah. I always on a trail like to socialize a little bit with the people I'm passing or who are passing me. I think it's good to develop a little camaraderie since we're all out there together. Even if we just run out of water or I sprain an ankle.
I learned in a self-defense class, one of the like best things I learned actually was about like not about the actual punching and kicking, but just like making eye contact with every person you pass, to show people like I've seen you. They recognize that you've seen them. To your point, Ali, like they might remember you if something happens to you.
Yeah.
So I think that's always good.
CityCast Salt Lake contributor Molly Miloscia, newsletter editor Terina Ria. We got this news actually a while ago here now, but we haven't had a chance to discuss it yet on this show, that ICE, Immigration Customs Enforcement, their parent company, for lack of a better word, the Department of Homeland Security, seems to be backing off their plans to build a 10,000-bed detention center on the west side of Salt Lake City. This is huge news in Salt Lake, and I think also has very much followed the pattern, the frequent pattern of when terrible things happen, which is like we got the announcement they wanted to build this 10,000-bed detention center. We all lost our loving minds with outrage and fear, rightfully so. And then it got kind of quiet, like protests continued outside of the facility. And then now the federal government is just as quietly as possible, because this news was broken by the New York Times, who it seems like found a paper trail, has just decided they're going to offload this facility. They're either going to sell it or transfer it to another agency within the federal government. And so it's like, is it a victory for like activists and people who worked really hard to make this happen? Or was it just like always an empty threat? Like, I think it's strange.
Yes.
It's strange.
It is.
Well, it's a pricey empty threat. It's $145 million. And now they're just kind of like, well, we don't really know what we're going to do. Maybe we'll transfer it to another federal agency, but who knows?
Right.
I mean, and it just feels so, I have trust issues. It just feels so sneaky. They're probably doing something more diabolical.
I know. As I was like preparing to talk about this today, everything I wrote down was like things that ended in question marks,
Uh-huh.
rather than thoughts. Like, is this
Right.
actually, it's only really confirmed, I guess, in air quotes, by the New York Times. We haven't actually heard confirmation anywhere else from any other federal officials that like the Salt Lake facility is not happening. It's not one of those I think it's 7 facilities that they're not planning on using. Is this
Yeah,
the last we hear of this?
right,
Actually, like, will this come back?
right.
And to your point, like, is this a result of like things we've seen with the data center in Box Elder County of like immense public outrage actually having an impact on decisions that happen, or is it not? I think just like a lot of questions still.
I will
Yeah.
say that's like a one of the delightful like positive outcomes of all this is like seeing the communities come together
Hmm.
toward this cause, and like the live stream of the Box Elder town hall meeting was some of the greatest television I've ever seen. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys watched it, but me and executive producer Emily Means, we were watching it, to put it in the newsletter, and we're slacking each other back and forth, and it was the drama, it was amazing. And
Right.
the people were outraged, and rightfully so, and I was so happy to see it.
Yeah. Well, and we saw, I mean, this week we had a primary election and we saw one of the
Mm.
most powerful men in the state, the Senate President Stuart Adams, lose reelection,
Hmm.
intra-party reelection, and really hard not to name that cause as backlash to him
Hmm.
being full steam ahead on this very, very unpopular data center. So, when we turn back to the like ICE detention center and the fact that the federal government seems to be like quietly
Yeah.
backing off. I don't think they're quietly backing off of their stance on immigration. We just got some Supreme Court rulings this week that
Right.
are going to enable their agenda for sure.
Hmm.
But I thought it was interesting in the Salt Lake Tribune version of this story, they tried to get a comment from Governor
Hmm.
Cox because
Yeah.
never forget, the governor said, we would welcome a facility like this in Utah. We really need a 10,000 bed
Yeah.
detention center that we know, is a place that they have historically put children. Um, and when the Trib tried to get a comment, a spokesperson for the governor declined to comment and referred inquiries to the Department of Homeland Security.
Right. Whose statements were also vague, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, are they being quiet because they're embarrassed that this thing they wanted didn't work out, or is it because there's more to come?
Maybe they know,
Yeah, or more we'll hear about it. I don't
they
know.
can tell. Yeah.
Yeah. And we know that there are uh, several counties in our state and actually our state correction system that have 287G agreements, which are basically these agreements that sheriff's departments or police departments or counties can sign with the federal government that says we will act to some degree as ICE agents on your behalf.
Hmm.
Places like Riverton have a 287G. I mentioned like the state correction system has one. Salt Lake City and Salt Lake County do not. So I think that's really important context because I saw in the New York Times story that they sort of the feds were implying that they would like to turn more to counties and municipalities and whatnot to execute this work rather than this effort of buying up 11 warehouses and looking to move people into these facilities themselves. Maybe they want to utilize the existing prison system more. That said, in the state of Utah, our existing prison system is bursting at the seams. Like the county wanted to build a new jail. So it will be really curious to see where this goes from here. But I think that a lot of people feel a sense, similar to you, Molly, small and maybe with a question mark at the end,
Hmm.
feeling of relief, certainly
Yeah.
in Salt Lake City.
I did want to shout out the Singing Resistance SLC because it's a group that I discovered recently. Their whole thing is coming together to sing protest songs, and I love it. It feels so very Utah. And every Wednesday in July, they're going to be singing at the proposed ICE Center until it's like 100% stopped. So they're trying to keep the momentum alive.
Yeah, they are
Cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we'll try and keep an eye on what DHS is up to. Our mandate here is local news. And it's hard when our local elected officials seem to also have no idea what's going on. I saw Salt Lake County Mayor Jenny Wilson and Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall were like, we haven't heard anything. So Fed's gonna Fed.
Right.
It seems like the person in the state who might know the most is the governor, and he says no comment. So we end up back chasing our tails. But that's what we know for now. Okay, Molly and Terina, let's do Pick of the Week. We love to celebrate on Fridays the things that are giving us life, as the kids used to say, but no longer say. I don't know what the new version of that expression is.
Yeah.
What do they say now? Molly, what's your Pick of the Week?
My pick of the week is in the spirit of, I feel like I and a lot of other people spend a lot of time in the summer in Park City, whether it's to escape the heat a little bit. I ride mountain bikes out there a lot. And one of my gripes always with going out there was you go and you do an activity or spend some time and there's not like really anything to do in your bike clothes. Like everything feels a little bit too nice or just kind of like overrun with tourists. And a place that I have always loved to go that doesn't feel like that is Offset Beer. They used to be located like very close to Main Street, but they have since moved to a new location. Okay. So they're kind of like out of the mix of Park City. So they're on Route 40, kind of like right across from the Round Valley area by the Intermountain Park City Hospital. They have very good beer, in my opinion, for a Utah brewery. And they're now in a much bigger space than they were in before, which is allowing them to do a bit more programming, which is really cool. So like tonight, this Friday, the 26th, they're doing a sushi pop-up there. On Saturday, they're doing like soup and grilled cheese. I know it's going to be a little chillier, I think, on Saturday. They're showing World Cup games, but they have a big run club that goes out of there. It feels like a very local spot for Park City, which I think can be hard to come by. And you can go in your bike shorts and not be underdressed. So if you find yourself out there this summer, I'd recommend popping in.
I forget who I was talking to who's a Park City local recently, and they were telling me this is the place.
It is.
Like, it's the genuinely local Park City spot.
100%.
People who actually live in Park City are hanging out there, and it looks really fun. I'm seeing on their Instagram they're doing summer beer gardens.
Yep. They were in a very tiny kind of like warehousey space before, and it would get like crowded pretty quickly, especially like on weekends after bike rides.
Yeah.
So I'm excited now that they have more space, I think, to be able to like do more stuff.
Yeah. Summer beer gardens in City Park, it says. The next one is July 10th.
Oh, cool.
City Park South Pavilion. So they're bringing it into the city. How fun. Terina, what about you? What's your pick of the week?
Well, I'm super late to the party, but I finally tried Nomad East for the first time last month.
What'd you order?
I ordered the corn pizza. Have you had it?
That is a good one.
Chorizo and cotija. It's so good. And then they, when I went, they had like a seasonal spring salad with like sugar.
Their salads are so good there.
It was just so light and fresh and amazing. And I've been like 2 more times since then.
It's so
and I'm
good.
Like, I've been missing out. I love it.
And it's like, I love indoor-outdoor space, but when they like decide to open that garage door and it becomes indoor-outdoor, such a great little patio. You can do a little people watching. It's like kind of a neighborhood joint.
You can go across the street to the iceberg window.
Yeah, that's what we did. Got a little milkshake. Yeah.
We did an episode of this show that was very popular. We've actually rerun it a few times. Salt Lake's Best Salad. And Nomad East won. Yep, the smoked salmon salad won the best salad in the city.
They have like I think it's called their family salad, and you can get it in like a quantity that serves 4. And
nice.
Ethan and I get that for the 2 of us. It is so good. It has like a lemon vinaigrette, like a whole bunch of different pickled vegetables in it. I like dream about that salad.
I love it. Okay, my pick of the week is a little nepotism. My friend Sid is having a garage sale, and I'm going to tell you about it.
Nepotism.
So she is having a garage sale at 2286 East, 2700 South, kind of near Eggs in the City, that Mill Creek, Salt Lake City border there. Yeah, she's off that cul-de-sac. She is moving, and so she's selling basically everything in her
what
house.
can we find at this sale?
What's her vibe? What kind of stuff
Her
does she have?
vibe is eclectic, kind of bourgeois bohème. There will be plants for sale. There will be clothes. There will be like dishes and things like that. There'll be some furniture. I did tell her, because I feel strongly about this, that lately it feels like sometimes you go to a garage sale and everything good is already gone because people sold the good stuff on Facebook Marketplace and then they put out all the crap for the garage sale. So I was like, please don't do that, Sid. So I think they'll still be good finds. You won't have lost out to Facebook Marketplacers. 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Sunday. And who isn't looking for something fun to do on a Sunday in Salt Lake City when it feels like so much is closed? So
yard sales are the best.
It's possible too that our friend Daniela will be selling her world famous miso chocolate chip cookies to raise money for the Utah Abortion Fund. So, it'll be happening. It'll be happening.
So fun.
So that's my pick. Okay. This is exciting. So what we're going to do now is, if you are not a CityCast Salt Lake member, the show is going to end for you. And that's okay. We love you. We hope you had a great time. If you are one of our members, which means that you're a paid subscriber, you kick us $10 a month or $100 a year to really fund and support the work that we do, we have a special segment for you. And if you want to hear the special segment and you're feeling FOMO, you can become a member at membership.citycast.fm, and then you'll get to listen in a special feed, which will not only have bonus segments for you on Fridays, but it's ad-free. So how about that? Moves even quicker. Show moves even faster. So shout out to our members, membership.citycast.fm. What we are going to share for you is some summer travel hacks specific to flying in and out of Salt Lake City International or driving in and out of the city. CityCast Salt Lake contributor Molly Miloscia, good to have you.
Thanks so much.
Newsletter editor Terina Ria. I'll see you around.
See you, Ali.
That is all for us today here on CityCast Salt Lake. Our executive producer is Emily Means. Our producers are Ivana Martinez and Matilde Urfolino. Our newsletter editor is Terina Ria, and our audience development manager is Angie Treasure. I'm your host, Ali Vallarta. Music is by the local band Mitochondria, with additional music from All the Kimonos, Arc de Soleil, Wendy Marcini, Sven Lindvall, Bagel, and Measlo. We will be back on Monday morning with more from around town. Have a great weekend.